Yay, finally. Wow, finally working. Holy hell. It's hot in here. I'm sweating. Hang on, just let me get a beer. There's no waiting for lives. They're in, going in dry. Oh, where's it? Shit. Taxi. With a towel. Uh, always wipe up your beer. Oh, now I better turn this on because I can't see chat or anything from here. How do I get there? My channel. My channel? New channel. Live. Live. Oh, it just said I was live there. That's what I want. That one there. No, that's not it. No, that's not it. Okay. Working with the P channel. Live. There it is. Hello. Oh, turn my voice off. So it's working. I just heard my voice. Hello, everybody, whoever's there. This is totally planned and everything not. Cheers. Oh, I can't. Is that working? It is. I'm going to have to mute it though. How do I mute it? Oh, I'm letting me mute it. Just turn it down. All right. G'day. There's a beer. Cheers. That's my beer that I brewed from Bendigo on the Hop. Can't see how live we are. Yeah. Me and Shiv. And this other fella, Brett. He's a good bloke. I just shouldn't call it my beer because it's our beer. This one. And this was a dark one. I'm just rehashing that dark. I'm surprised I haven't got so many comments about that dark beer in that last one. That's the one we brewed. That was dark anyway. Here's a proper. I should have poured one out of there. I don't need three. Here is a proper co-conspirators beer. Is anybody there? Is the chat working? Hello. And I've got a new light though. So this new light might be helping the way these beers look. And a different camera. This is my webcam, not my fancy camera. Though, there's condensation everywhere off this beer. I can see already. G'day, poopy doopy. How you going? I can see there it's heaps darker. Doesn't look as brown, but yeah, as I said, we're on a different camera and a different light. From this side, it looks as brown. I like my new light. I should have tried to turn the light down a bit because it's shining off my head, isn't it? I don't know the controls yet. I think it's up. Turn it down a bit more. It's not really showing it in this light, which is good. That means this new light I've got is better for beer reviews. Or maybe it's the cam. That's a co-conspirators. I haven't got I have got one, a Co-Conspirators beer from the keg over there, but the taps are hooked up to my other keg here, so I'm not going to get that one out. Wow, I'm liking this new camera, or this new light. I don't know what it looks like on the stream. It looks okay on this one. But you can tell my beers and commercial beers, right? Mine have a head. What's wrong with these commercial beers that don't have heads? If I've got a rough head like this, I can make a head like that. Anybody should be able to. What are you doing? I didn't brew beer today. I did distill, but we'll get to that later. I do have a bit to taste, even though I only distilled it today. Pretty happy with it. Is anyone going to St Kilda Beer Fest tomorrow? I'm supposedly going. I don't know what's... The weather better be better than it is today. Error, please use a keyframe frequency of 4 seconds. It says poor, but it looks all right on my screen here. Do you want to listen to some Slayer? No. What's going on? I just wanted to show the difference. These two beers actually are nearly the same colour. Don't call me Ashley. Which one's better? I don't know. I reckon mine's probably 6 months older than this. I don't know when this is. I can't read that. Oh, I did bring my reading glasses just in case I needed to be able to read. And that's still no good. Still way too small. Packed on the... Oh, no, that's bloody... Best before something in January this year. So this is parts before Best Buy. That's why I got it so cheap. It was packaged on the 4th month, 2025. When did we package mine? Well, probably a little bit after that. But mine's been packaged 3 times. Oh no, not this one, twice. This one twice. From a commercial keg to my home brew keg. G'day, mate. How you doing? STS 54. Dinner. See, that's my problem. I haven't had dinner. This is a bad thing to do before dinner. But actually, it might be better off leaving those ones on. The wife takes the kids, or one kid, the young kid, to Holly, to gymnastics on a Friday night. So I always run out here and, well, not always, but if I, got sort of half organised, I'll run out and try and do something on the Friday evening before they get home. I'm trying to test out these lights, although that one's in the total wrong spot. Anyone having a beer or anything? I'll be at the St Kilda Beer Fest tomorrow. Unless it's torrential rain, then I'm not going to bother going. But I'll be there. But I'm not having a big one. Famous last words, because I got to come home and stream tomorrow night. I'm not turning up on opening, so I'll probably be I don't know. I don't even know what time it opens. 12 or something? Is it 12 to 6 or something? I'll probably be there like 1 till 5 or something. Oh, not even that. Depending. Things always change. It is the Blues Fest, I think, on in St Kilda this weekend too. So there's a bit going on. A beer fest and the Blues Fest. My brew one looks better. Sorry, Co-Conspirators. Citra IPA, Motueka and Citra, man, that's what I was going to brew today. Was a Well, it was starting as a rice beer. I haven't brewed a rice beer for a long time, so it's going to be a rice lager for the wife. But which I was going to get to after this. I should have had dinner before this. This is going to end up not good. I was at Bell's Beach Brewing last Friday. This time last Friday, still there. And we are drinking this beer where they did a collab with. Trying to get it. That light's too bright still. With Urban Alley, Between the Tides, IPA. New Zealand IPA, they call it, because it's got New Zealand hops in it. But it's got a lot of rice in it. Just to keep it nice and bright, like modern IPA. And so we had a few of those last Friday, and I really liked it. So I was thinking this morning I'm going to brew this rice lager. Man, I'm going to brew this instead. So I messaged the brewer, had a quick chat. Didn't get the exact recipe, but close enough. I could make out, close enough what it is. And I'm going to brew something similar. But by the time that came through, I didn't really have time to brew today, so I distilled the. Oh, yeah, on the Patreon. Thanks for the support, mate. So I distilled the tequila today, which is here, which we'll get to. Oh man, I should have eaten dinner first. The kid has McDonald's before gymnastics, just because they don't have much time. So the only thing I've had for dinner is a frozen Diet Coke is all I had. That's all I can get from Macca's. But anyway. How strong is this? 1.8. It's got to be over 6 then, hasn't it? 6.5. Shit. 6.5. I can't remember what the one we brewed is. Probably about the same. And then I think this is 7. And then I need to try the tequila. This isn't good. This isn't good. I had to steal my wife's workbench again. I've stole it. I took it last week or the week before to do a quick video. It works for me. G'day, Steady Eddie. You're not the famous Steady Eddie, are you? What are you doing in the UK, Steady? Well, yeah, I used to always say eating's cheating. That was before I drank 7% IPAs, though. And it got me in a mess. Well, I'm not, you don't tell stories, but I can tell my story. Last Friday, I went to visit me mate, and he was supposed to, not mention any names, he was supposed to leave to pick his daughter up from school at 2 o'clock. So I turned up at 1 o'clock just to say g'day. Just before I get there, he sends me a message. Oh, I don't have to pick my daughter up from school, so I can hang around for a while. I went, oh, yeah, cool. So I still turned up at 1, and then we had too many of those 7%ers. It was tough getting home. It was tough getting home. G'day, Craig. How you going? But I didn't eat. That's the trouble. I hadn't even. I had like a protein shake for breakfast or something. Went down to Torquay, had a quick swim. Oops, I'm getting putting locations in now. Everyone's connecting the dots. And then turned up there. I hadn't had lunch, and then half a dozen pints of 7% beer. Got a graze on my arm. Look. But I didn't actually fall over. That's from the those metal grates on. I'll have to catch a train for a couple of hours. And like the metal grates on near the shitter door, or where you get it hop on and off the train. They're like I don't know. I guess they're air grates or something, vent grates. I rubbed against that and took a big chunk out of me elbow. But I probably wouldn't have done it if I didn't have a gut full of beer. Oh, my phone's over there going to keep dinging unless I turn that on silent. I'm turning on silent. Should probably put on vibrate, just in case the wife rings. There's no connection there. I heard that. Yeah. Yes, I am. There's already a long cut of the brew day. Well, it's not much of a brew day. It's like extract, but there will be. Yes. There's a rum one too. That, well, I don't expect everyone to be on my Patreon, but they will eventually make the main channel. The rum's already been aged for a couple of months. The tequila now I distilled today, so that's been brewed and fermented. G'day, Jason. You just messaged me. You made me get up and put my phone on silent. I don't know what you said. I didn't read it. That'd be rude. Oh, you sent me something, a music video. But I'm really surprised. I wasn't going to do it. I'll drink it now. Bugger it. Of course, it was only distilled today. I reckon I got about 1.23 litres of usable stuff out of just 22 litres. I mean, I've got to air it overnight and, test it tomorrow, but I'm not going to drink that now. That's 80% and was only distilled, as I said, a couple of hours ago. But I did take a sample out earlier and mixed it with some water, a shot full, but I didn't want to have a shot earlier, so I tasted a little bit. Because I just didn't, having a look at it and smelling it, there was I should have brought all the jars over. The third 200ml jar I got out is when I first smelt that tequila thing. I went, oh, it smells like tequila. And then after that, once we got into the hearts, it didn't really smell like tequila. But I guess this is what happens when you do spirits. When you're doing vodka, of course, you just want that clean bit in the middle. And when you do spirits, you got to learn. It's hard. You got to pick to add some of those heads and some of those tails in. Otherwise, you'll end up. It'll still taste like tequila, but you lose a lot of flavour. Anyway, peer pressure. And this is purely. This would be early hearts. The first. I took 200ml off. This is just a 22-litre batch. I took 200ml off, just under 200ml off for the 4 shots, and then about a 200ml jar, 200ml jar, 200ml, about 600ml off there. This is the next sort of 400 or 500ml. That's where I took this sample from. Sort of halfway through. But it tastes like tequila. I didn't think it would. It was the third jar along when I was about 600ml in, where I went, oh, it smells like tequila. But now it tastes like tequila, and I'm surprised. I didn't think it would. Of course, it's very young. It's a bit burny at the moment. I mean, when's tequila not burny? But I don't do stripping runs at the moment. I've sort of stepped away. I'm trying to. Fucking tastes good. Excuse my language. I'm trying to make it into what do you call it? I can't remember how you're supposed to pronounce it. But then again, it's wrong to try and pronounce things in the accent of someone else, isn't it? But the what is it? I'll do it the Yoka way. The oh fuck, I can't even remember how you say it now. It's gone to my head already. And my favourite ones. The Angio, whatever. How do you fucking say it? Someone taught me how to say it the other day. And I can't remember how it is. But ANEJO or whatever. They're my favourite ones. Yeah, that ANEJO, those ones. And I can't remember how to say it properly. I've totally had a brain fade. Been saying it all day in my video. Yeah, and Heyo. Yeah, something, whatever it is. And Heyo, yeah. I really love the 1800 NAO, and the reason I've always ever just done straight spirits, like neutrals is because I never thought I'd be able to brew something that's going to end up like like the 1800 Añejo, or I love rum or something like a really good rum, aged rum, because one, I haven't got room for barrels. I can't afford barrels. I'm renting. I can't be having a barrel program while you're renting. So I never thought I'd be able to get any good stuff. But this is tasting okay. I know it's only today. We'll see. But yeah, I'm skipping the stripping rum. Anyway, what beer? Someone was talking about the beer. The beer on my right. This one is the one me and Shiv brewed uh, for Bendigo on the Hop. And that was a few months ago now, probably 6 months ago, maybe even more. But the idea of tonight was to bring it out, because that's a dark one as well. This message is held for review. Why? Can be seen by you, but are hidden from the public. Well, how do I make it? Show. Oh, there you go. Just go right. Press show. There you go. Got in trouble for saying fuck. um, uh, yeah, and well, the reason was because of that video I did before, where that beer looked really brown, and it is very dark. This beer, that's the proper one, the proper co-conspirators. But the thing is, I'm on a different camera and a new light that turned up today that I bought, so I was testing it out as well. But that's the proper version of that beer I had in my tasting video that I released last week, and I wanted to show it because this mine's a dark one as well. But they're looking really light in this light. My new light is obviously doing what I wanted it to. Take it easy, Craig. Yeah, so this viewing, I shouldn't have poured these two beers because it hasn't really shown what I wanted to show. Except it has proven my new light's better. Or the camera. Maybe it's the camera. Yeah, there isn't. But I find that with a lot of commercial beers. Oh shit. Spilled half of it on the table. I don't know what it is. Try and stir it up without spilling any. It's definitely like, it's really thick. Yeah, ours drinks nicer. I mean, some people like it. This is orange juice like in thickness. Like, well, even I don't even know. I'd probably go heavier than that. Does anyone remember? I remember years ago. It was like 2011 or something when I first ever had my first sour at Gabs. Sour beers weren't anywhere. You couldn't buy them or anything. But one of the beers in the containers. Well, they only had the containers at Gabs those days. They never had stands or anything. You could only get the container beers, and that was it. Um, and they had one sour, and I'm not. This isn't sour at all. This co-conspirators beer, but it was thick like that, and it reminded me of Nikov. If anyone remembers Nikov, those 2 litre casks of fermented. I don't know what it was. Some sort of fermented. It's like apricot juice fermented wine. I don't know what the hell it was, but it was really cheap, and it'd get you pissed when all my girlfriends in that stage at 18 used to drink much of it, a lot of it. But anyway, that's what it was. It was really thick and it was so sour, man. It was so sour. Like sour beers these days don't touch it. It was mouth puckering and syrupy. It was the weirdest thing ever. I didn't have another sour beer for a couple of years. And then they got famous and I went back and went, oh, this is nothing like the original ones. And especially today, like when you go to a bar today and have sour beer, they're nothing like those ones that came out for the first couple of years. They were crazy. I shouldn't have wiped it with my beer towel. That was stupid. I don't drink any juice beers either, to be honest. They're not good for me diabetes. But I don't know. It's a good beer though. People love the Co-Conspirators beer, and it tastes good. It just doesn't look that appealing right now on the camera. I think they Vienna Marisol of Vienna oats and wheat. It must be the Vienna that gives it the darkness. I don't think it needs Vienna, but you know they brewed it and it sold really well, and it's still selling really well. So why would you stop? It tastes lovely. Still not my yeah. No, I'd rather a nice clean West Coast, which we'll get to in a minute. But oh, Wildflower are awesome. They're moving, aren't they? Which you're the one in Marrickville or whatever. Is that shut yet? I've been there, and I've met Topher. Topher, is that how you say his name? I think we were just calling him Toby. Many times. The first time I met him was at a Beechworth Hop Festival, their first big one, and it was in the car park at Beechworth Brewery. These days it's down at the park, but it was in the car park. And Toby turned up. Toby, did we call him Toby? Um, and he had a few of his beers, but he didn't have any signage or anything. Typical man. He's a lovely guy and such a hippie. And all he had was he got like one of the empty Bridge Road cartons of beer and wrote his sign on a carton of beer and just had that fucking sticky tape to the front of his desk. He's classic. G'day, Draz. How you going? I wouldn't be surprised to see him move to the Barossa. I didn't know he was going there. Oh, I didn't think he was going that far. But I wouldn't be surprised. It'd suit what he does, you know. But if anyone wants to dive into that sort of barrel age, I don't know. I call them sours. They're not really sours. Barrel age stuff. Farmhouse. It's probably a better term. It's always Wildflower and Dollar Bill are my go-tos. I don't drink much of it because I like drinking pints of stuff, and it's not really beer you drink pints of. But Dollar Bill and Wildflower, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. But sorry, co-conspirators. I think ours wins against that one. Definitely by looks and even by taste. Although I'll give it to co-conspirators. Theirs is probably 2 months older, or at least maybe even 3 months older, and past its use by date. But then again, my beer's been through hell. It's been through hell. We brewed it in Ballarat at a small brewery at not Ballarat, Bendigo, at Bendigo Brewing. What are they called? Bendigo. Shit, I can't remember what they're called. Brewing Corp? No. Far out. Why can't I remember what they're called? Anyway, in Bendigo. That's terrible. I can't remember. Anyway, we brewed it there. Brett helped us out. It was on a big. It was only a 200 litre system, but we maxed it out. It's huge. We filled it. We had a 40-litre Guten next to us because we wanted to get four kegs out of a 200-litre system, and that's kind of hard. By the time you get all your losses, you know, we needed 4 50-litre kegs out of a 200-litre system. So we did a mash beside the big mash kettle at the same time in a 40-litre, I think it was a 40-litre Guten. And then once we got to boil in the big kettle, we put our hops in a bag, massive amount of hops, huge amount of hops. I don't know what it was, but the bag was like this. I can't remember how much. I've got the recipe somewhere, but put that in and then took them out at the end so we could pour the rest of the wort in to really, that's how much we were maxing out this system. Pulled the hops out so we could fit more wort in. Filled the only 200-litre fermenters up, but we filled them to the max. We had hop aid, HBA give us some hop aid as a tester, which is it's like anti-foam. Well, it is anti-foam, but it's made out of hops. Somehow they make it out of hops. Whacked that in, and it didn't overflow. And when we got our 4 50-litre kegs out of a 200-litre system, which is hard to do. Well, you've been in New Zealand, Burnsy. Bloody hell, what are you doing over there? Earning too much money, mate. Can't believe they let you in. But yeah, no, it's still a nice beer. I've been waiting for it. I've probably only got in the end of that story is they only needed 3 barrels. We thought they needed 4. I mean kegs, not barrels. Kegs for the festival, but they only needed 3. So there was a spare barrel, a spare keg. I keep saying barrel. There was a spare keg, and Shiv, who was the zythologist, he didn't need it, and he was going somewhere else anyway to work, and not in Bendigo. So I said, "I'll grab it and bring it back here." And so I brought it back here, and I put half in a corny keg, which is the one I just drank then. But it's been sitting here for months and months and months, man. And I canned some, testing out the canner, and yeah, I've still got it sitting here. Oh, thanks for the I don't know what you call them on YouTube. Thanks for the donation or the super chat. Is it super chat? That's so. It is. It's a super chat. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Is that thank you again, or if I press something? Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you. I don't know how to do it. Oh, is it? Oh, that puts it on the screen. Let's celebrate. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not. I have to do many. Thanks heaps, man. Thank you. Much appreciated. Yeah, and anyone else too that's not on my Patreon, I haven't had many videos out lately. Been having huge computer problems. Like I come back, I was away for half of January, come back and look after the kids for school holidays and all that sort of stuff. I'm the stay-at-home dad, right, with 2 girls. But and then we get back, they finally go back to school, and then my computer just, it's been intermittent, and then suddenly, yeah, then it just needed to be fixed, and then it took me a week and a half to fix it. Had to buy a new power supply, and new RAM, and, just trying to diagnose what it was. And a new CPU in the end, but it's back running now, so. Oh, g'day, Vic, how you going? Hang on. I keep saying your bottle's over there and I still can't reach it. Oh, yeah, I can nearly reach it today, but no, it's just too out of reach. I've done me back last week, so I done me back last Friday running for the bus. Don't run for the bus. Running's no good for you. All right, this is the one we're going to get to. And I don't know if you can buy this at Urban Alley. I got this at Bells Beach Brewery. I can't see what I'm doing. My live stream on my iPad's about. It's too bright. Yeah, I gotta learn how to work this light. But anyway, I'm about 5 seconds behind, 10 seconds behind by the looks of it. No, it's still too bright. Whatever. That's not gonna help either. It doesn't matter. It's called Between the Tides. It's a collab between Bells Beach and Urban Alley. I've known both those brewers for a very long time. Doesn't really say. All it says is, it's hopped with Manolita or something. I haven't heard of it before. It's another New Zealand hop, but I haven't bought any or seen any anywhere. Well, we don't really have shops around here anymore, do you? Manolita, Manilita, Nelson Sav and Rawaka. So there is a little bit of diesel lurking in here. I keep getting ads in my chat. Why am I getting ads for my own stream in my chat? Where's the... But I had a couple of pints of this last Friday, and oh my god, it was just good. Bright as bright can be. Can't see. Oh, you can see it there. That's just my pad I'm watching that's close to me that I can see is, as I said, about 10 seconds behind. So much diesel in it. I didn't notice that so much the other day. That's the Waka though. Oh, it's much more diesely in the can than it was there. Why do they hold back your hit that thumb for the great man, please, people? I brewed a beer a few weeks ago with that NZ Hop CIP. I haven't used that yet. That's from that brewery that we got a fair bit of. They must have done a lot of, not brewery, but farm did a lot of promos around because everyone seemed to have it. But I never got to try that one. Oh, we'll give people a heads up. If they watch my video that was the HPA, am I allowed to? I'm not sure I'm allowed to. Keep your ears open about the HPA 033. Just saying. In the next couple of days. Not that, unfortunately, many home brewers are going to be able to get it probably till next year, but we'll see. Yeah, that's tasty. I will tell you from the information I got today about it. I reckon they must have used a shit ton of hops because they went for the 80-degree whirlpool, which is a bit different for them. Oh, well, depending on the beer, but he said it went to around 70 IBUs. And there was no hops in the boil or anything, so it was all whirlpool and got to 70 IPUs. So that's a lot of hops. I don't know the levels of bitterness and those things, but if you're at 80 and you're whirlpooling at 80 and you're guessing you're getting 70 IBUs, that's a lot of hops. I mean, we used a lot in the Rattenhund, the Pilsner from Hop Nation. That was all, but that was hot whirlpool. And that was about 70 grams a litre, or no, not 70 grams a litre. About 70 grams a lap, I think. But that's only a lager. And that was nowhere near 70 IBUs. I haven't had a chance to put it in and test it because I've been doing the tequila today. but interesting. It's BOE and sweaty and diesely. If I had this probably 5 years ago, I wouldn't have liked it, but I'm into it now. I mess around with Whirlpool, but I don't. As I always say, there's some beers I'll bother to drop it down to 80, but not many because it's just hard work, and it just depends. It just depends on the beer. Waiting around for it to get to 80 is a pain in the ass. And so most of the time I only do that for, when you want a full on one of those non-bitter IPA and IPAs. But if you want some bitterness in the beer, yeah, there's no point. There's no point putting bitterness at the start and then dropping it down to 80 and then putting more, trying to get bitterness from that. Yeah, you can get aroma and stuff from that, but as I've always said, most commercial, although, things at times are changing, but most commercial breweries don't have the system to get to do, or to, it makes it not worth it. You use more hops, you use more energy, you use more wastewater. When you're running a commercial brewery, well, I don't really know. As I said, Victor, I don't know Menolita hop. I know nothing about it. I haven't even Googled it since last week. I'd totally forgotten about it, to be honest, until he sent me the what hops are in it today, and I went, "Oh, that's right. I forgot about that hop. I hadn't heard of." I haven't got Rawaka here. I've got Nelson. I've got a lot of. I still got a heap of Rakow or whatever it is too. I haven't even used the Rakow in anything. All those hop giveaways I did. I don't know how much hops I gave away. Probably 50. So no, that's an exaggeration. About 30 kilos of hops I gave away, and I've still got like what they gave me to keep for myself, and I've still given away some of that as well. But far out, I've still got a lot of hops. But they're getting old now because they haven't been stored in. They've just spent the summer in my garage. We haven't had too hot a summer here this year, but they're still in their original packaging though. They haven't. I unpacked the El Dorado probably, I don't know what it was, a month or two ago, just before it got hot, and that's all in my fridge. So I used that in the last beer, but all the rest are New Zealand hops. So I don't know what I got left. They're not that much, but well, when I say not that much, probably 10 kilo. But I don't know what it's going to be like, whether it's usable or. I mean, it's going to be usable as for bitterness and for flavour, but not for aroma. That's the problem. Now, thanks so much for those super chats or ST. Oh, I know your photo. I've seen that elsewhere. Must be on Facebook or somewhere, Instagram or one of those things. Or maybe it's on YouTube. Maybe maybe it's on YouTube. Of course, it's on effing YouTube. Not that I can see it. It's tiny on the screen. Time for some hop bombing. Oh well. Oh, Samuel, cool. And I apologize. I always forget people's names, but I talk to a lot of people. Well, I don't talk to a lot of people. I'm a bit of a loner, but you know what I mean. I interact with a lot of people, and I'm hopeless with names. I'll remember that now, though. Samuel with this. It's kind of like a photo I'd do. I think that's what you're doing. It's so tiny. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're going. What are you collecting cheesy shit in your fridge for, Vic? Although sour people love old hops. That's the trouble. I can see the computer up there with these up glasses, but actually they're doing all right. There's not much else, nothing much new here. As I said, I've got some rice to use for a change. Yeah, never got to it this week. That will be next week. Yeah, I know. I've got a bunch of hops in, and every year or so I go through and go, oh man, it kills me to throw them out. But do you post or pre-boil changes to pH? I actually did search the supermarkets for stuff, and I haven't got there yet. But I did see that. Is it they have a 5 kilo bag or something, or a 4 or 2 kilo or something? Yeah, I did see that. Or maybe it's just a kilo. Hang on. Um, pre- yes. Depending on the beer, Mad Jam. Yes. Um, if I'm doing a really hoppy beer with lots in the whirlpool and lots of dry hopping, I'll make sure. Look, it's not that scientific. It starts scientific, but then when I do 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 batches and look, do all the calculations and things, and then I go, oh, that's about 1 mil, and then the next one, oh, that's about 1 mil. Oh, that's about 1 mil. So at the moment, you get a bit slack at home. Um, so yes, when you're fermenting something really hoppy, it's really good to be about 5 pH. I'm going to finish my water videos. It's just been the Christmas got in the way and some other stuff got in the way. But I'm going to finish them, and we're getting to this bit now. I've done all the sort of theory. Now we're into the business end, but we're going to do it. But yes, you want about 5 pH in the fermenter. And normally for me, and I'm talking single batch on my water, hops I use, all that sort of thing. Normally for me, if I'm aiming for 5.3, which I normally do in the mash for most beers, by the time it gets to the kettle, it's like add one more mil of lactic, and that just brings it down that little bit. Um, and that's what I'll do if I feel slack and don't feel like measuring as well. So, well, I know you shouldn't do that, and you shouldn't, but and I wouldn't do that commercially, but at home brewing, yeah, it's usually another extra mil of lactic at the. Sometimes I wait till it gets in the fermenter, test it in the fermenter, or even if it's between, at your chilling stage, your end of whirlpool, you're chilling. And it's much easier to take a proper pH reading when it's chilled. When you're at that 20 degrees, just check it and make sure it's around that 5 pH. Uh, but if you're talking crisp lagers, if you want a really crisp lager, you can go right down in the finished pH. So you can go even lower. You still want your ferment, depending on your yeast, to be around a certain pH, but a finished lager to get a really crisp enjoys a low pH, and your stouts enjoy a high pH. Like what I'm talking about when I enjoy makes it nicer drinking. A drier drink, crisper drink with a lower pH, and your stouts are higher and nice soft. But yes, it matters. It matters, and you do that commercially every day when you take a gravity reading every day and you take a pH reading every day. It's just something you do. I don't do it for my home brews, I'll be honest. I might do one mid ferment or whatever, or if I'm worried about something. For this tequila is my first proper all agave juice ferment, and I took a gravity reading and a pH reading every day just to check on things. But yes, it's incredibly important. Rice hulls or grains. I'm not sure what that goes to. When I put my flaked rice in, I'll be putting some rice hulls in, that's for sure. But yeah, there's no point using real rice and boiling it and all that. You can if you like, but you're going to get the same end product out of flaked grains with flaked rice without all the issues of doing all that other stuff. There's no point. You're not getting any benefit about boiling rice or stuff like that. Okay, first time here for a while. I may have said this before, but as I don't have temperature control, I'm using Quake for this in the summer. I've had great results with electric. Oh, good on you, John. I can't stand it, but that no, that's not that I can't stand it. That's a bit of a harsh term. I can always taste it, and that's okay. I've had some okay beers. Don't get me wrong. I've brewed a couple here that have been not nice with Voss in a in an NIPA, and I've had mates that have been brewing pseudo lagers or whatever with Latra. I can always taste it. It doesn't mean the beer's a bad beer, but I can always taste it. Some people can't, right? Any tips for storing buffer calibration solution? Yes. And this will be in the video. And I've actually talked about this a few times in live stream. And I hope you're still here, James Lee Hunter, because I'll show you the trick now. And it will end up in the video. Hang on a sec. I can't see in here. I'm likely to trip over something. And if I can find my... Right. First trick I'll give you, if you're using one of these, and these are fine, these pH meters. Any pH meter, they're kind of like regulators. People will buy a cheap one and then they'll fuck it, excuse my language, and then they'll go buy an expensive one and they'll take total care of it and go, oh, this one's so much better. Whenever you buy a pH meter, buy one with a replaceable probe. It doesn't matter if it costs $80 or $400 or $500. Every pH meter probe probably needs to be changed 12 months. You might get 2 years out of it, but I reckon you're just not going to. Most problems, like regulators, is mostly someone fucks up. They do something wrong, they drop it, they lay their gas bottle down, they get bits from the gas bottle into the regulator. Like, even if their regulator's not connected when they lay it down, it stirs shit up. Whatever. It's the same with pH meters. They're incredibly delicate, and you need to keep the probe moist. They're the only thing, and I keep stuffing up. Everything that I buy spares for if I've got a couple of bucks, right? Seals and, for your kegs or whatever, poppets or quick disconnects. Always have a couple of spares because you just never know. And pH meters, though, with probes, I kept doing that. And then you go to pick out the probe 6 months later and it's dry as a bone and it's useless. You need to keep your probe moist. I haven't got it now, but you saw I had it in a airtight plastic bag. Well, they're not that airtight, but normally I have sticky tape around it as well to keep that moisture in. So I put the cap on, put sticky tape around it. And when I've got the sticky tape on, I don't usually keep it in a plastic bag, but because I was doing it every day for that tequila wash, instead of the sticky tape, I was putting it in the cap on in a plastic bag. You got to keep it moist because you're getting evaporation all the time. Silicon isn't airtight. We've been taught that for a few years now. And even if you get, what happens when you get evaporation with your uh, pH electrode, not pH, electrode solution, it, it, what do you call it? Dehydrates, not dehydrates, evaporates, and the salts come out. And this would be pointless. I don't know if you can see it. It's all the light's too bright. So all the salts are there, like it must have fell over or whatever, and that solution there would do more damage to your probe than anything else. But that's again kept for the video. Eventually, I've been saying I'm going to do for years on pH meters. So I used to open these up. Well, I don't want to open it now. Right, open this up and take the paper lid off the cap plate. Fuck, I can't talk. Excuse me. Paper cap off the top, but now I don't. I leave the paper tab on there, and I just poke a little hole in the top, just enough so you can turn it around and squeeze a couple of drips out, because that's all you need to do. You can give that a wipe if you like. And then I put that back on and it seals properly. See how bottle that is? That's half empty. I'll be used a shitload of it. This one is because I took that plastic off and it's probably fell over. And there's a lump of salt on my keyboard. Or whatever, and that's useless. So yeah, that's how I keep it. And if that doesn't work for you, buy a little glass bottle or whatever, or something that you know that's going to be airtight and safe. But that's how I do it with these, and it seems to work. I shouldn't be tipping it upside down like that. You've got to take care of these things, right? Because that's probably just filled the top with solution, and that'll dry out, and then that'll get salty, and then it won't seal properly. So I used to just throw them in my toolbox, and it just doesn't work. You keep it upright. You just poke a hole in that top thing. You're not going to end up with a bottle looking like that. I don't know if you can see what it looks like. But yeah, you've got to be, yeah. And it doesn't matter how careful you are, you're going to need to change that probe. Doesn't matter if you pay $500, $600, $700, $80. Be clear of the ones that don't, the yellow ones that you don't store in solution and that. They might work for like a month and then they're going to be shit, even if they are only $5. I've seen some English breweries use them and I'm going, what are you doing? But then they also have a pint glass with about 8 of them in it. They're a delicate instrument that you really, really got to look after. Otherwise, they're not gonna read right. Mine's slow. I haven't looked after this as much as I should. I actually think I replaced the tip, but the tip had dried out. See, once the tips are dried out, sometimes they'll come back to good, sometimes they won't. That's why you can't buy one and store it. You can't put one away and go, oh, if that buggers up, I've got that spare one. It doesn't work like that. Doesn't matter. They're incredibly delicate. And people can go, use Milwaukee or use this. It's all the same. If you fuck up and let it dry up, it's going to be shit. Anyway, that's my tip for the solution. And you can see that as I said, that bottle's 2/3 used and looks clean as a whistle. And this one, I haven't done this on purpose. Is how I used to just take the whole lid off and then throw it in the cupboard and not worry about it too much. It's shit. And if you're using stuff like that, it's stuffing your probe because with evaporation and salt like that, it's probably twice the pH or whatever it is supposed to be. Oh, sorry, you were talking about the buffer solutions. Why does it keep fucking holding back comments? Thank you for the sticky tape tip. Why not? Yeah, and keep it upright. Keep it upright. Mine sits in a coffee cup, because I use these little 50 ml. They're not a shot glass, but they're like a shot glass, little plastic ones. And I can take a pH reading with only 10, 20 ml of liquid. But that's going to fall over. So I put that in a coffee cup, and then I put that inside that in a coffee cup, and it doesn't fall over when you're taking your reading. This is a tour t-shirt from 2019. But your buffer solution should be kept in the fridge. And the same thing, find some small glasses. It doesn't have to be a shot glass. As I said, I got these little 50. I did get them off bloody Temu or something. They crack as soon as you squash them. They're shit. But they're little like 50 ml shot glasses that are just really thin, cracky plastic. Doesn't matter if it's paper, but get some smaller ones so you only need a small amount of solution to do your test. And if it's cold, you can, it warms up quick, or if it's hot, it cools down quick because it's small. And the same thing though, store it in usually most people are doing the little satchels, which I only just put away today. They're up the back there. So you get your distilled water or whatever it is, mix up your little satchel in your little 250 ml jar, give it a shake. It takes a little while to dissolve sometimes, so it's pretty hard to do it right on the spot. But in an hour or two, you get it dissolved. And then store it in the fridge. Store it in the fridge. Because otherwise, if you're poking this in it, it doesn't matter if you rinse it off after the grain or whatever, you're going to grow shit in it. And I've shown it on other videos, but I reckon I could probably grab one out of the cupboard right now. But you probably won't pick it up on camera. It grows like, it's like I don't know what it is. It gets this grey shit in it that's growing, and that totally is going to stuff the pH, and it's useless. So what I do is I get my 250 ml bottle, or glass jar, or you can make up more if you want, of course. Or you buy it in big. You can buy it in test jars, like I've bought before when I'm lazy. They're not that expensive. Or even if you buy, 800 ml jars, or whatever. I bought these little ones here. I'm gonna set them off here to find. You're not gonna. Oh shit! You're not gonna see it though. I've got ones in the fridge right here. Here's one I just got out of the fridge, which I only mixed up a week ago. That's my 401. Keep it in the fridge. Here's one that hasn't been kept in the fridge, and that is, I can hear it bursting. That's a 6.86. Oh, you can hear it. You probably can't because I've got a filter noise gate on. But if you can see that, there's stuff growing in it. Even though I've never put a probe in it, it's in a brewery situation, and that was clean water. Stuff grows in it. That throws the pH out, and it's just gross. It's not accurate anymore. So mix up your 250 ml. It doesn't really matter the jar. Put it in, whack it in the fridge, keep it in the fridge. It's a bit of a pain in the ass when you forget. But this is plastic. This is probably no good for the microwave. But I got glass ones. I've got two at the moment. There's a glass one in there and a plastic one. Like 20 seconds in the microwave in a glass jar of that much gets it back up to room temperature. Pour a little bit in your test jar and then put that away. Don't reuse it. Once you've reused that, you chuck it away. And then your solution will last way longer and be more accurate. When you're keeping it, especially in a cupboard or not cold, and putting your dirty probe in things like your wife. Jesus Christ. You're gonna contaminate your pH sample, and it's just not accurate. Well, yeah, you can store if you wanted to, you could store your shot glass in the freezer to help cool it down. For my pH samples during mash, I take it, I don't know what I take, probably, I don't know what it is, 50 mil or whatever it is, in a coffee cup, because that can take the heat, and then the coffee cup goes in the freezer for 15 minutes, or 10 to 15 minutes, depends on the day how I'm feeling, but it's somewhere between 10 to 15 minutes. And a little sample in the bottom of a coffee cup will get down to that 25, 20 degrees. It's really important. Temperature matters. Automatic temperature control on all these reading instruments, it doesn't matter what they are, only works to a very, very small degree. And it's not so much for your sample, like if you've taken your calibration at a nice stable, you've waited, got everything at 20 degrees, and done your calibration, then your sample of beer needs to be 20 degrees. Auto calibration doesn't, ATC doesn't, if you're taking pH of a beer sample at 40 degrees, it doesn't work like that. If you know constantly, like in the middle of summer, I'm much better off calibrating my pH meter and machinery to 30 degrees, because everything in the moment, even me at the moment in here, is 30 degrees. So if I calibrate this at 30 degrees, and then I take a sample, and the sample's 31 or 32 or 30, 27, 28, that's where the automatic calibration will work for you. But if you calibrate it at 20 degrees and then using 30 degrees, it's not accurate. It's not how it works. It sounds like it, and everyone hopes it's that way because it sounds really nice. But it's not the way it is. So calibrate at the same temperature you're taking your readings at. As close as possible. A couple of degrees is okay. Angary Granny. Sorry, I did say that a while ago, but I'm talking too fucking much. Yes. I have tried it and I enjoyed it. I can't remember what beer it was in. I'm a bit so far behind in my videos, so it's nearly become 6 months behind now. Yes, it's a good yeast. If you're on a hazy beer, it's a good hazy yeast. And to be honest, I had to buy some yeast, one for the rice lager and one for. Oh no, I bought a couple of more house ales to use. But the rice lager, I bought Cellar Science German for, which I think is just like a 3470. But I've got no. Cellar Science for me has been great. I've seen some other YouTubers say it's slow. I've never ever had that problem with Cellar Science yeast. It's rubbish. I mean, of course, it can be packet dependent and yeast dependent and temperature dependent, whatever. But I've never ever had a problem with it. I also make sure I pitch enough yeast, right, which is usually 2 packs in a 23 litre batch of anything. I got 3 for the lager, which because it's 3470 derived, I can probably go a bit warmer. I'm not going to do it at 12 or whatever. Probably do it 15, 16 will be fine. Tell you what was good. Yeah, I love the house ale yeast. If you haven't been here for you're not in my Patreon, it hasn't come to the channel yet. That might be the next video. I've got to do the KG Crush video because I'll get hassled by them tomorrow probably because I haven't put it out yet. And also the house ale yeast. I've been using the almond house ale yeast. I'm fucking loving it. It's so fast, but I'm not loving it because it's fast. I couldn't give a shit if a ferment took a week, but no ferment should take much longer than a week. But that house ale yeast, man, smashes. It smashes. And it's great for hazies. I really want to try. I was going to use it when I do this rice IPA. Instead of using everyone uses, most commercial breweries these days, at least the ones that I know that are doing really, really great IPAs lately, are using lager yeast because everyone's trying to brew really, really good lagers because they matter, or pilsners or whatever. So they got this whole bunch of lager yeast, high quality, expensive lager yeast. So they're using it in their IPAs, and they're coming out. The modern IPA should be crisp and really punch in the face. It doesn't matter if it's a New Zealand IPA or New Zealand lager or an Australia. Not a caramelly thing, kind of like I talked about in the. Well, I didn't talk about it much, but in the first walk kits, old school IPAs, American IPAs, yeah, they're sort of caramel heavy, but modern IPAs shouldn't be like that. No caramel. Stop putting caramel malts in your IPAs and your pale ales for that matter. Unless you're brewing an English one or whatever. It sounds like the wife and child are home. I was going. I'll go before I go. I'll finish this. I'll go and grab one of the house sale beers, and then I'll turn off. The wife and the older child's been here all the time, but I just heard the handbrake in the Ford Territory 2010. It's dying. Unfortunately, it's dying. Yeah, if you're going to put, I actually only ever used to use Munich really for flavour. Oh, and a little bit of colour. But I always get the lightest Munich I could for my pale ales. If you look through a lot of my old recipes, they're always a bit of Munich. Even if I dropped everything else, there'd be some pale ale. Oh, I wouldn't care if it was Pilsner malt or ale malt, and a little bit and some Munich. But yeah, caramel, like it's been. Well, I mean, it was probably come out 10 years ago, 12 years ago, whenever it was. But yeah, if you're putting like normal crystal malt in your IPAs and that. And I know people freak out and say oxidation is a thing and it matters. If you're storing your beer at home and you're the only one drinking it, using crystal malt leads to your beers can oxidize heaps more easier. Oxidize. Even if you're as careful as, it's still going to lead to it. It's one of the reasons you got to be careful of copper in your beers. Like if you're using copper chillers or on that, don't strip it clean every time. Leave a little bit of patina on it because all that any type of metal in your beer that ends up in your beer leads to oxidation. Rust, man, that's what it is, and it matters. It matters. Any of those people that ever tell you that oxidation doesn't matter? Oh, I've brewed for 100 years. Oh, in the caves, they didn't worry about oxidation. Yeah, but I bet their beer tasted like shit. Seriously. And they probably weren't paying $50 a kilo for hops either. Actually, they wouldn't have been hops in the beer at that stage anyway. It would have been like herbs or something. Yes. Yes, James Lee Hunter. Yes. Yes, it does. It's very slow, James. It's not like, um, it's not like injecting oxygen into your beer. But yes, it's bad for your beer. It's if you were commercial and wanted your beer to last on the shelf, you'd be better off not adding caramel malt. I've done lots of Hefweizens. I did a sort of a little bit of a series on Hefs. Well, I don't know if I call it a series, but I ended up with 3 kegs of it. And by the time I drank those 3 kegs, I swore I'd never drink another Hef ever again. I got so over it. But it depends what you want out of it, out of a Hefs. It's all about yeast selection, temperature. Don't ask on a forum because people will say hotter for this flavor or colder for this flavor. You've got to do it for your specific yeast. All hef yeasts react differently. Decide if you want it more, banana or more spicy. Do a lot of research on the yeast you choose. Be very careful if you try and get. These days, I wouldn't even use a positive yeast in my brewery, but you got to be careful what yeast you choose because it can infect, well, not infect your stuff, but it can carry over into other beers. I guess that's infection, isn't it? There's modern hef yeasts where you don't have to worry about stuff like that. It depends what you want out of your hef. Do you want it super banana-y, super spicy? Look, I don't. I did for a couple of years use Marisota a lot because and then I got a few terrible bags of it where the grain size was so inconsistent. It was terrible to crush. I swore I'd never buy another bag. And it's just another malt. I don't care what anybody says. It's just another malt. It's got more flavour than a Pilsner malt, but then there's a lot of ale malts that have got more flavour than a Pilsner malt. Marisota for me doesn't. It's not this stand up above everything else. It's just another malt. It's a great choice of English malt, but there's other malts that are great. You don't need Marisota to get Marisota flavour. Well, that's probably. It's kind of the most important thing when you're making a beer is know what you're aiming for. Know what you're aiming for. Pick your malts for it. Yeah, some people will jump on Marisota a lot, but there's other malts that are just as good. Gladfield malts are effing awesome. I was using Gladfield exclusively there for, I don't know, a good 5 years, I reckon. But these days, mostly, or at least for base malt, I use Voyager because it's cheaper. Marisota went up. I mean, no, not Marisota. Gladfield went up. Gladfield for me was better than Marisota. Um, but again, Gladfield prices went up just after the COVID thing or whatever. Uh, or was, yeah, I think it was just after that. And Voyager got bigger, and Voyager's cheap, and it's small batch. You know exactly which field it comes from. It's just good. Oh shit. Well, and I mean, we all have our different flavors that we like, Paul. You know what I mean? Like, the malts aren't going to be exactly the same ever. And you've got to search. If I was trying to, like, I can't tell you what to. I don't chase the Maris sort of thing anymore. Um, I was for years. Well, for a couple of years there. Um, I'd just try and pick. Match the color, match the stats in another malt. I couldn't, as I said, I wish I could just rip one off the top of my head for you at the moment, but I can't because I haven't looked at it for a long time. Why WHC banana split? I don't know much about WHC yeast. I've only ever used the one, and it disappointed me because it was a quark yeast, and I've still got a packet in there. I meant to give it away to somebody. The high voltage thing. Probably still like right since it's quark. It's probably still fine, but I don't know what the banana split is. But yeah, it sounds like the right yeast to use if you want banana. and follow what they say. You know, that's the yeast people that make the yeast usually have more knowledge than the punter on the internet. But everyone has their different experiences with it. Eh? G'day, Karen ZF9MD. Thank you. Well, Gladfield's so consistent, and that's really important in malt for me. That's why I gave up on Marisotto. It was so inconsistent. I'd crush it, and I'd look, and there'd still be whole grain in it, and I couldn't go any finer. Otherwise, I was going to mash the big grains. It was just terribly inconsistent there for a few years. And then the price got stupid. And Gladfield was consistent. Was just, I'd go back to Gladfield any day, like if I had to. But it's just that I can get locally grown malt that's small batch. The guy's a legend that owns the company. I've met him a couple of times. He's a really good bloke. So it's a no brainer for me at the moment. But then for that beer that I showed before, the one we brewed for Bendigo, that was brewed with the most cheapest malt you could ever find. The Malt Europe from Ballarat, I think. Cheap as shit. I think it was like $35 a bag as cost price for commercial. Cheap as shit. But what you do with it. We made a good beer with it. Take it easy. Thanks for the super chats, mate. Cheers. Where's the Samuel, that was it. Fucking hell, my memory. And what the Samuel? Fucking hell. Excuse my language. Yeah. All right, so that's pH solutions. Yeah, store them in the fridge. Heat them up when you're going to use them. 20 seconds in the microwave is usually enough for me. Because I always forget. Or just remember to take them out. Morning of brew day, take them out. Let them warm up to room temp. Like your yeast. When you take your yeast out, which I always forget sometimes. Take your yeast out. Take your pH solution out. Let them come up to room temp before you use them. Oh, well, Gladfield used to be the same here, but it went up after COVID or whatever reasons, probably not, whatever reason it was, it probably went up 10, $20 or whatever. It's still great though. It's still probably, I don't know, I haven't looked for a while. It's probably 70 to $80 for a base grain where, I can get the local stuff for 60 something. Yeah, I should be Gundy, yes. I should be casting tomorrow. I'm going to go to a beer fest during the day if it's not torrential. I've had a stressful period, it says. Never even knew I had my period. My watch just said you've had a stressful period today. Stressful is doing your first tequila run on your system. Yeah, for those into distilling, I didn't do a stripping run. I just do same with the last rum I did. No stripping run. There's no point when you've got a 22-litre batch to do a stripping run. It's just silly. You end up with nothing. If you've got 100 litres to distill, yeah, do a stripping run. But if you only got 22 litres, but it depends on your system too. I'm lucky enough to have this system where I can put 3 or 4 bubble plates in, and I don't need to do a stripping run. I just do one run and take a little bit of care and get something that tastes like tequila. Oh, I've drank it already. I'm not going to drink any more because I minted it today. I mean, no, distilled it today. Yeah, all right. I'm going to go and get one more beer and then that's it. I'll go and get the house ale IPA I brewed a couple of weeks ago. Back in a tick. I haven't got any way of putting the use cover in. I can do that. No, they'll be right. Oh, I'm just talking about feeding the fish. She's feeding my guppies. All right, we're back. And I poured the wrong one. I put the pale ale, which I've got to be careful of because when I do my house ale review, I want to do the pale ale and IPA I made. And I meant to pour the IPA. I know there's not much of this pale ale left. I'll go to do the review and there'll be no pale ale left. This is the pale ale I did. And this was brewed a week before Christmas. I think I had 8 days before Christmas and I went, oh, I've got to get a beer in. I'd never used this yeast before. I don't like Kvike. And so I went, right, I'm going to use this. I've heard this is fast. I'm going to throw it in. I threw in 2 packs. It's only like a 5% beer. And it was fermented in 2 days. Well, down to FG within a point, like any beers, they can ferment down and then they might lose another point in a few days, whatever, but it was down to FG in 48 hours. And hazy. I didn't mean it to be hazy, but it was one of those things. Oh, I wanted to dry hop right at the end. I want to get this beer done. And so it was that final gravity went, oh, I'll dry hop. And then totally rushed it. I think I dry hopped. It was at warm temperatures still. And then like 20 or whatever. I fermented at 19. After 48 hours, it was down to final. Raise it up to like your 20, 21. I can't remember if it was 20 or 21. Dry hop. Left the dry hops in there warm for about a day and a half just to deal with any hop creep. You don't have to worry about hop creep then. It's done, dusted. Because dry hopping cold doesn't deal with hop creep. If you're going to store your beer warm. I don't store my beer warm. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We're not talking about that here. So, and then cold crashed only for a day. Only in the brew build over there for the glycol. And then kegged it. I carved it by weight. This was the beer in the carb by weight video. Kids are blowing by the sounds of it. I don't know if you can hear that. And yeah, so it was brewed a week before Christmas. I don't know what that is. December 17th or something was brewed. No, hang on. Yeah, something like that. I didn't purposely want it to be a hazy, but it ended up hazy. And it's been haze, as you can see. It's not an IPA by any means. It wasn't meant to be. But that yeast is pretty... If you want to brew a hazy with it, what do you call it? Haze positive or... What do you call it? Haze something, whatever. The haze will stay. G'day, Seamus. John Donovan. And so when I got back, because we go on Christmas, we had it for Christmas Day. I go to Sydney to see my family for Christmas. We were up there for about 2 weeks or whatever. Come back, still drinking lovely. But now it's, a month or whatever it is later. We're nearly in March. January, February, March. But when I got back, I brewed an IPA version. I was gonna the original idea was to try and brew like a lager with it, like a faux lager, a cream ale or something like that, steam ale you might call it, whatever, a lager but with this yeast and clear it up. So it's not really a lager, but you know what I mean. One for the wife. She loves those sort of cream ale things. She doesn't like hops. She's a super taster. Um, so all I did, I upped the alcohol by about a point to about 6%. Same kind of hops. It was Motueka. Oh, this one's El Dorado. The original one was Motueka and this one's no, sorry. This one's Citra and Motueka, mostly Motueka. Uh, and the IPA I did was Motueka and El Dorado. But the same thing. I brewed it. I put it in the fermenter, and I went, "Oh shit! I got to go to Adelaide. I had to go to Adelaide for froth. I can never say it, and the wife hassles me for it. Froth and Fury. I thought it was a beer festival. I'd never been. I'd always wanted to go, and then I got there and went, "Oh, it's not a beer festival. It's a music festival, but it's all right." Saw some good bands. Um, and it was the same kind of thing. I had it in the fermenter, and it was like, "Oh, I've got to go to Adelaide in a couple of days. What do I do?" It got down to final gravity in 48 hours. Do I dry hop now? Do I leave it till I get back after like a 4 days away and then dry hop and then wait another week? It's like, oh no, stuff it. I dry hopped, final gravity, same thing, warm dry hop for 24 hours, crash it, still leave it on the dry hops crashing for another day and a half or something, and then I kegged it on the Friday and came back and didn't drink it, for another 4 or 5 days. But still a great beer. I should have grabbed it next. I mean, grabbed this. I grabbed this by accident. Hang on, that's in the chat. What are those bubble plate like? All right. Oh, they work. The bubble plates work. They worked all right today. Um, I've only used them. This system. I've done a vodka on it, a rum on it, and a tequila on it so far. Plus the cleaning run and the stripping. Well, the cleaning run and the vinegar run and the sacrificial run, and then a vodka run, and then a rum run and a tequila run. And so, yeah, it worked fine. No, I don't. People often ask that, and you should ask, but everything's in the video. I think for the elder, if there's nothing in the video, if I've forgotten something in the zombie video, because often by the time I, edit it, and by the time I edit it, it's a month after I brewed it, and I think I've put everything in. But if you ever notice anything's missing, just ask. But I think everything's in that El Zombie video. I don't think there's anything I would change. Um, just go for it. You probably don't have to do. Is that the one I did a cereal mash? You don't technically have to do one, but cooking the polenta would be a very good idea if you're not doing one. Yeah, I think it's all there. Like you don't have to do it with the grain. It's more traditional if you do. Oh, it's not a cereal mash. Yeah, there you go. I can't remember because I do a lot of videos and sometimes I can't remember. I knew I did a cereal mash video, but I can't remember what that was for. But yeah, whatever's in that video, unless you find something. But now I haven't got any new tips. Yeah, okay. If you use instant polenta, then that'll be fine. Yeah, it should be fun. So I'm just looking up there. That's actually where I'm streaming from. My computer where I'm streaming from's, I'm nowhere near it. Oh, I can't. I was going to turn that, but yeah, it's over there. I've got my little iPad down here so I can see the chat, but that's about it. As usual, just take care of your ferment, right? Um, I know what yeast you're going to use, but there's no need to be. There's old school people that will say you have to brew lagers at 12 degrees. Well, you don't. It's yeast dependent, but most lager yeasts are very happy at 15. And much faster, and especially if you're pitching enough yeast. So the Simon's German. So that you can treat that like 3470. I think I'm pretty sure. Um, I've got that for my next for the rice lager too. So you can go pretty warm on that. I mean, I'm not saying to go really warm, but if you have to, it's not going to hurt too much. I wouldn't go over 18, but if 15, 16, I wouldn't even blink an eye at it. It'd be fine. I mean, if it is true 3470, I've been to that many bloody technical yeast symposiums where they go through all the stats, and it hasn't been just one, it's been over and over again over the years where they brew with 3470 up to 18, and through all the sensory and the computer sensory, like, the ones that are done censored by, not censored, but sensories done by computers, or what do you call it? Can't remember what you call it, where computer does the sniffing, and then human, and they put them together, and yeah, not much anyone can tell the difference from 3470 from 14 to bloody 18, or even lower than 14. And you'll find all those stats on the websites too if you go and have a look. Is there a reason though you're doing it under 12 psi? An Irish red and nitrous. There's always it's a thing I ask for everything. Sorry, Seamus, is why? Why are you doing it under pressure? I mean, all my beers are under pressure, but a little pressure. Every one of them. Since pressure fermenting came into vogue, I don't know when that was, 6, 7, 8 years ago, 9 years. I don't know what it was, but yeah, most I don't do under 12. Most I'll do around 2, 3. Wherever it sort of settles in. Um, I got plenty of, well, not plenty, but someone was asked. I've got two. My first Irish red won the best Irish red in competition and comes second in a full English ale competition. Not that I've brewed it for a long time. That recipe's out and about. I think it's on YouTube. It'd be very old. There's another one I used to brew. I used to call them my amber ales, and I did so many of them. People started giving me shit for doing too many of them. But then one of my friends really loved the B6 version. I'm not sure I did a video on B6. Maybe I did. I'll have to have a look in my videos. But the other one that's really good red is the Celtic red from. I did the brewery series Celtic red from Bridge Road. That's really good. That's a really good one. Uh, and the nitrous thing doesn't matter. Well, funny you should mention that, because I've got these red ales here left over from when I was brewing on that commercial system, and I hadn't been drinking the red ale, so I've probably still got 3 or 4 kegs of it sitting there. It's probably getting to, I don't know, maybe it's still all right. But I found my stout spout, And I'm going to show you a little trick, but you probably won't be able to do that. Well, we will be able to do it at home if you use the talus keg, but you don't even need nitrous to do it. But I don't really have nitrous here because I've never. While I'll enjoy having one at a brewery, or if I go to a Irish pub and have a Kilkenny or whatever, I've never wanted a keg at home with it because it just won't get drank, and that's just a personal thing. But I get you. I understand what you're saying. Have you tested any angel juice? I haven't used angel yeast for beer. I've got it here for distilling, but I haven't used it for beer. And angel's dirt cheap. That's why I haven't used it for beer. But some people have tried it and reckon it's okay. Now, well, Seamus, that German yeast is, I'm pretty sure that's a 3470. If you look on there, I should look on this site for you, but I'm not really in front of my computer. I know that sounds funny, but my mouse is up there and I can't really see it. I think you'll find it's 3470. 3470 will ferment perfectly fine up to 18, they say. Like, I'd pull it back a bit, but I'd be having no worries at all at 16. If you can whack it in your ferment fridge at 16, just fucking go for it. And go up pretty quickly. Well, you might even want to start at 15. It depends how many packs you're adding. If you're only adding one pack, go as warm as you can. If you're adding a couple of packs, which you probably should, at least two, it's a lager. You can start at the 15, 16, and then each day just raise it up a degree. Wait till it starts fermenting. And you don't even need that pressure. You just don't. It's a have a look at. I mean, you got to sort of deep dive sometimes, but if you can find the information on the Fermentus site, that the Do 3470, they've got all the graphs and all that there of all the off flavors and things you get at using it at different temperatures. And if you have a look between like I don't even think they did their test down as low as 12, but whatever it is, up to like 18, there's not much difference. I'm currently pouring a best extra stout via a stout spout on CO2. Yeah, and it will. Well, see, I can tell you now, I've got all these red, this pretty heavy red ale in keg here, but it's in a talus keg, so the gas doesn't touch the beer. So you can serve. What it means is it's like it's in a goon bag inside a keg. So you can serve this beer with oxygen if you like, whatever, to push your beers in a goon bag inside of a keg. For those that are overseas, in a bag. The beer's in a bag inside a keg, and when you're pushing it out with gas, the beer's already going to be carbonated when you put it in there. The gas doesn't touch the beer, so you can use any gas to push it out. So I've got all these red ale kegs here, and they're only probably about half the carbonation style that I like. That's just the way they came out of the brewery. I'd like them a little bit more carved, but the fact is that they're sort of half, three quarters carved. They're in a keg where the gas doesn't touch the beer, so I can pour that through a stout spout and put 30 psi on it and serve it like a nitro beer, because the beer's not going to get overcarb because the gas doesn't touch it, but it's forcing it out fast. And that's why you use nitrogen. It's all about nitrogen doesn't carb beer, but you can force it out at a higher pressure, and that's where you get the fine bubbles and stuff, right? It's all about the higher pressure. So with these Talus kegs, if you put your beer in a Talus keg, yeah, they're only one use. They're not really purposely made for this. They're purposely made for shipping beer around the world. But the fact is that I can hook that up at 30 psi. It's not going to overcarb because the gas doesn't actually touch the beer. But I can force it through a stout, one of those, a stout nozzles at 30 psi or whatever, 20, whatever works for you, and get that really fine head and pour, that cascading effect, without overcarbing the beer. Which I've been meaning to try. I did I did my Talus video talking about it, and then I did a second one which was supposed to highlight that fact, and I highlighted about 3 other facts and totally forgot about the one I did the extra video for. And I actually, again, I meant to put, well, I haven't covered up the fridge next to me. I meant to put one in the fridge so I can do it. So. I'm planning to put a modular T-bar font with 4 taps to my Kegerated Series X. Total is better. Oh, look, I don't know. I can't tell you if it can handle the weight. Um, I guess what I'd do is put it on and see, and if you're worried, you could always reinforce it with something. But they do have all different setups. Not that I've tried them or anything, but that they've had it set up. I've seen it set up with like the big 2-inch thing T-bar. So I wouldn't think it would be 8 kilos. Seems heavy for your four tap T-bar though. What are you making it out of? Cast iron? Oh, it's the same strain as 3470, I believe. And don't have any worries if you can get it of using like an anti-foam. I'd use it every time. Most of the time, I use anti-foam in the boil, and I reckon it carries over into the fermenter. Because I've never had it. I've had one blowout. I was going to say 2, but I reckon I've had one blowout in 38 years of brewing. 38? Fuck, is it getting that much? It nearly is. It is 38 years of brewing. And that was a big stout, of course, in here. And I still didn't change it. All I did was put some towels around it until it got over itself and then cleaned it up. But I think most of that reason, because I see other people have them all the time, uh, is maybe because I use anti-foam in the boil all the time. I don't know. 500 gram fermenters from. Oh yeah, big, huge different. I haven't used, as I said, I haven't used angel yeast for beer. I've got some here to use for my distilling. That's a different thing. If you made honey mead and ran it through a still, no, it's not a. It's not. You wouldn't legally. Well, if you're commercial or in America or whatever, you wouldn't be able to call it a whiskey because it's honey. Um, I can't remember what you call that distilled honey. There must be a word for it. I don't know. I'm sorry. There would be a word for it. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I don't know. One of my comments, which it'll eventually get out. I'm gonna have to start releasing them soon. Um, for my, I'm technically not allowed to call this tequila, but it's so fucking ridiculous. Excuse my language. It's so ridiculous. Try that one. Oh, there we go. It's not going to be quite the same sound, but I think we've got it. I think we've got sound now. We've got sound now. It's not going to be quite the same sound because the microphone battery must have run out. Back, yes. What I was saying, I don't know how far we got in the conversation. I'm not sure which microphone's working, but something's working. As I was saying, if aliens ever come to the Earth, we've taken quite a turn here, a right turn, or a left turn. I don't know what the fuck it is. But it's in my tequila video, because it quite annoys me immensely that, you know, technically I can't call this tequila, because it's not distilled or brewed in Mexico or whatever. And so one of the points for my video, my tequila video, is if aliens ever come to the Earth, they're not going to ask how we split the atom or how we got a rocket ship to the moon. They're going to ask why we're arguing over fermented agave juice and what we can call it. They're going to laugh and go, what the fuck are you stupid humans on about? Because it's ridiculous. I think in the video I say something much more stupid in the video, which people are going to go, what are you talking about? But it's like we're not talking about continents, we're not talking about worlds or universes. The other side of this stupid, tiny, small planet, of a tiny little universe that we're in, I'm not allowed to call it tequila because I'm brewing it here. Ridiculous. Thanks for playing the tune, Paul, while I was gone. It needs to be, what was that tune they played in? No, it doesn't matter, I'm not going to remember anyway. I was going to say the tune out of, it's probably banned now. What was that Peter Sellers movie where he was an Indian? Effing hilarious. Birdie Num Num. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? I can't remember what it's called. But there was always like this elevator, 70s elevator music kind of thing behind it. I'm sure there was a famous song in it too. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? How you going though, Mesh? No, not Pink Panther. Oh, no one knows what I'm talking about. That's embarrassing. Way funnier than Pink Panther. Hey, I need my... Is my mouse working? It is working. And the funny thing is, I can't remember the name, or if you write Birdie Num Num, as I said, it's probably banned from not being working now. Birdie Num Num. The Party. The movie is called The Party. If you haven't seen The Party, you need to see The Party. It's The Party. That's hilarious. It's probably, he plays in India. It's probably, you know, these days it'll be cultural appropriation or whatever. What the fucking hell? But it's funny. It's a funny movie. And there's always this 70s, what's that song? I don't know what it is. But that would be what I'd want somebody to play when the music goes. When I go mute. Oh, it's fucking hilarious. If you've got nothing to do tonight, go and watch The Party. You might go, what's this? But just stick with it. It's fucking hilarious. I don't know if you can stream it anywhere these days. As I said, it might have been cancelled. All right, I'm going to get... Jesus Christ, I'm going to regret this tomorrow. Oh, it's only early, isn't it? I'm going to go and get the IPA, which I meant to pour before that I brewed with the house ale. That was the pale ale. I'm not going to touch the tequila anymore at 80%. But I'm going to go and grab a quick... The house ale IPA, which is what I meant to grab the first time, not the pale ale. Did you hear the wife then? I don't often hear the wife on my stream, but I know the noise cancelling is off now. Did you hear it then? We're old, carrying on. How can these we got our shopping delivered. I don't have a car or anything right today, and you get like, look at like 30 paper bags. How is that saving the planet? I don't know. I'm old. 1968. Haven't you seen it, Trev? It's fucking hilarious. G'day, Trev. Oh, I didn't see that was you that said Pink Panther. He was out of place. Well, that was what made it funny, right? That's what made it funny. Anyway, here's the IPA, and they both kind of look the same. Well, the IPA's, I don't know, when was Adelaide? Adelaide was, it got kegged on the 29th of January. So I went to Adelaide on the 30th of January. The other one I drank before, the Pale Ale, was kegged a couple of days before Christmas. So, but they've both held up. Again, both weren't meant to be hazy. But I never, also, because I was so rushed, I never tried to clear them, never used clearing agents. Oh, there would have been some in the boil, but yeah. They were both dry hopped at finer gravity, which is where you get your most haze, or right at the end of ferment, right on the end of ferment. But I still want to try. I think I'm going to use it on this rice IPA now, and try and get it to clear. Like, just give it a couple more days in the keg before I move it on. Trying the shoestrings on the detonator. Oh, it's not the best movie in the world, but it's still funny. It's old school, but it's quietly hilarious. I wonder if they've cut parts out of it. It's one of those ones. It'll make you fall asleep, probably. Like, it's not a flying high, right? If you start watching it now with a gut full of piss, yeah, you'll be asleep in half an hour. But that's funny. It's funny that the Pink Panther. All right, I reckon it is. Jeez. He's coming to St Kilda tomorrow. I don't know if I will. We haven't had a storm here. The skies were black this afternoon. Absolutely black, but we never even got a drop of rain. Not a single drop. So I keep looking down here, but it's the only way I can see the chat. Yeah, this one's El Dorado or Motueka. And again, they've got lovely flavour. Because they're both old, the hops are quite a couple of years old, I'm not getting the aroma out of it. It doesn't matter what you do. Oh, it's a nice aroma. It's not a bad aroma. There's a little bit, but considering the amount of hops I threw at it, yeah, the aroma isn't as great as it could be. Actually, I think this one I used I think I used a Vic's Secret hop oil in it, a little sack. Oh, I only threw it out today. It's probably in the bin here. Don't go through the bin. It's only plastic in the bin. Can't remember what it was. The Spectrum? Spectrum, I reckon it was. Nothing in here but... no, hang on, there isn't. Oh, I can't find it. I dig deeper, but we did some 3D printing for my daughter the other day, so there's 3D printing resin in there, and I don't really want to stick my hand in there without the glove on. Otherwise, it's just plastic. Oh. These little satchels, these little 25-gram satchels of Spectrum hops, like a hop oil. I'm pretty sure I put one in, but I put it in as I pitched the yeast, so I didn't really mix it in. And they're very oily, and the fact is it might never have mixed in. Probably sat on the side of the bloody fermented the whole ferment. So I don't know if I'm breaking any secrets here, but I can tell you that video I did about the HPA 033, that official name of that is going to be released on Tuesday. I don't know what it's called. I haven't heard the name yet. But yeah. But I don't think us as home brewers, are probably going to get any until next year. Which seems so far away. But that's the way it is. Hello? I came to say a word. You nearly heard from the wife then. I'm to bed after this one. Well, not to bed, but pack this shit up. But yes, so I will be at St Kilda tomorrow briefly, if the rain doesn't become torrential. I don't know which mic I'm supposed to be yelling at. I think it's the camera. I think you can hear the fridge in the background. No, I'm not in trouble. No, God. No. She's probably just saying goodnight. Again, I'm as much as I grew to love Motueka, and I've still got I don't have that much of it left. I was thinking of what rice, what hops to use in my rice lager, and I thought Motueka's perfect. But I'm kind of getting over it. I've had it in that many beers for the last 12 months. I'm nearly over it. No, I'm not live cloppy. This is all AI. I'm like, what's his name? The rockstar fella. It's all AI. My next brew is a red ale, Cooper's Pale, Munich, Cara Amber, Cara Pills, roasted barley. Fucking hell, that's a big although you're doing a red ale, so that's fine. My next brew is a red ale, Cooper's Pale, Munich, Cara Amber, Cara Pills, roasted barley, crystal malt. There's a lot going on, but yeah, it depends. If you're doing a beefy red ale, that sounds fine. If you're doing a hoppy red ale, I'd probably cut back a bit on the. Well, I haven't seen your amounts, right? But if I was doing hoppy red, I'd be aiming for colour without the caramel. If I was doing a balanced bitter red, then the caramel's fine. You know what I mean? And I don't just mean caramel. Like Munich's fine, the Pale Ale's fine, even the carrying, but it just depends on amounts, right? A little bit of roasted barley for colour's fine. A little bit of crystal malt's fine, but it just depends. If I was doing a hoppy, I'd probably go low on the crystal malt and keep the others. You can still use crystal malt, but don't go big on it because you don't want it too sweet for a hoppy one. It depends what you're going for. Brewed a Kolsch yesterday. Oh yes, I know. Yeah, roasted. Only for the crystal one, only 60 grams. Oh yeah, that's bugger all. I think for my reds, my old ones I used to call ambers. Some of them were quite popular. B6, as I said, I think I mentioned before. Lemo used to like B6, and that was about for a 23 litre batch was about 300 grams of Simpson's medium caramel, about 60 grams of, or depended on the brew, 50 to 60 grams of roasted barley, and the rest just sort of normal malts. But they were good beers too. But these days, if I wanted to go hoppier, I'd pull back the crystal malt and just throw something in for a bit of colour, like your roasted barley, or go for something like what do you call them? Those huskless roasted barleys, number 3, number 2. What are they called? I haven't used them for a long time. The roasted ones without the husk. Can't remember what they're called. It's been a long time since I've used them. They're good for colour too. What the fuck are they called? Not Cara Ambers. That's why I'm keep thinking Cara Amber because it's in front of me, but it's the other ones. Cara. I can't remember what it's called. Carafa Special. Yeah, that's it. Yes. There's a few different versions, but yeah, that's right. The dehulled one, yeah. Dehusked one. 30 litre batch, 70 grams roasted, bitter per EKG, dry with, yeah. Sounds interesting. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. That's what I'm just confused me because I haven't looked at it for so long. Because there was Carafa 1, 2, 3, and then there was Carafa Special 1, 2, 3. Was it something like that? Wasn't there? One was dehusked and the other one wasn't. Something like that. It's been a long time. I haven't really. Fuck. Well, that's anyone that watches my channel. I've noticed I haven't really brewed that many dark beers for the last long time. I did a lot at the start and a lot of reds. A lot. I was thinking about today I should do another red. Trying to claim Cooper's Regency. Oh, I haven't tried that. Cooper's Regency Park Red Ale. I haven't tried that. I haven't heard of that one. I haven't even heard of that beer. I'll have to look at it. Yeah, because those ones, and there was another brand too, because that was one brand, the Carafra, and there was is that Wyman? I can't remember. There was another brand that's kind of did the same thing. Yeah, they were Wyman. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm kind of getting a bit over the Not Awaker. People told me for years that I should use it, and I didn't really like it. And then I fell in love with it. And now, because I've had so much the last year and a half, nearly 2 years, I'm kind of getting over it. It's lovely in a beer, but it's, when you're just drinking it all the time, it's like, fuck, I need something else. I do like the way the bitterness cuts through, though. It's got a dry bitterness. Because that's not the Eldorado in this. That's got to be the Motawaker. I never got to visit Coopers while I was in Adelaide. I'll have to sort that out. We visited a few other breweries though, didn't we, Clubby? Just not Coopers. How's the tour with Iron Maiden and Megadeth? I wanted to go and see Megadeth's last tour. I've seen them a few times. I didn't really enjoy a couple of the last ones I saw of Megadeth, but first time I saw Megadeth was the Rust in Peace tour in at Enmore Theatre. Fucking hell, that was a crazy night. My wife, well, not my wife, my fiance at the time. We're we're pissed out the front of the Enmore Theatre. In the gig, I'd lost her, in the mosh or whatever. And then we're all sitting at the front going, where is, trying to find everybody at the end of the gig. And a Timmy van starts going down the street, and you just hear this girl in the back fucking screaming and punching, and the Timmy van's going like this. And I went, oh, fucking hell, that's Michelle. And that was the missus. And everyone went, are you going to go and chase her? And I went, when she's like that, no fucking way. No fucking way. She used to try and stab me and shit. She's fucking crazy. And then one of the fucking two dogs rooting one of our mates, followed her home and fucked her anyway. So, he was a mate. Two dogs. They called him Two Dogs for a reason. Crazy times. Didn't care back then. All right, Two Dogs, you're a cunt, but whatever. But that was the best gig, man. They played like demons that night. And then I'm old enough to where I saw that. What is it? Was it the 20th anniversary? They came out and did Soundwave or whatever the hell it was. 20th or 30th anniversary of it. Whatever it was. And that was crazy. It was probably the time Slayer. It was probably this one. Megadeth came out and did their own kind of tour. And they had Slayer on it. Is that the one you were talking about? Oh no, you're talking Festival Hall. But Megadeth come out and did their own kind of little tour. And I'm not sure if that was the one. Slayer played that one. First time I saw Slayer was Festival Hall, I think. Can't remember what tour that would have been. And then I saw him at Megadeth thing. I don't know. I can't remember. Oh yeah, I wasn't at the one where he lost his voice. I never saw that one. No, I didn't see that tour. I've seen a few at Festival Hall. I've seen Sepultura and Pantera Festival Hall. Sex Pistols at Festival Hall. Queens of the Stone Age and Motorhead and fuck, I don't know. Trying to think back. I never saw Slayer. Not the one where he lost his voice. I didn't see Slayer then. I don't think I saw that tour. I can't. Yeah. I'm trying to think the first time I saw Slayer. I can't remember the first time. But yeah, Megadeth. I saw. Rust in Peace was the first tour, like 1989 or whatever it is, 88, 89, whatever the fuck it was. 1990 maybe, or somewhere around there. I saw them at Enmore in Sydney. I mean, I've seen them a few times around. I didn't worry too much after that, because all the albums were shit after Rest in Peace. Not shit, but not nowhere near as good. And then I saw them at some pub in Melbourne. It kind of like, I can't remember the name of the pub. It was like not the Queen Elizabeth or something. I can't remember what it's called, but it was kind of down South Melbourne, but behind the casino, along there, somewhere along the Yarra there. I can't remember the name of the pub. That was weird. It was only really Dave and whoever his band was at the time. It was kind of cool seeing him in a little pub, but I didn't know any of the fucking songs they were playing, mostly. But, and even Iron Maiden, I used to be a massive Iron Maiden fan. And as a kid, I tried to brand the artist symbol into my fucking wrist as an idiot. But anyway, I'm glad that didn't work. but I've only seen Iron Maiden. I missed the night. I missed Live After Death tour. I was just a little bit too young. I was like 15 or 16. I didn't go, and then I didn't really see him till probably the Somewhere in Time reunion tour thing they did. I don't know when that was. Probably, I don't know, somewhere between 20 years ago and 10 years ago, in the middle there. And I didn't really enjoy it. It was too much like, I don't know, I was just bored. Pissed, but I was bored. But I'll go this time because they're only playing songs between Iron Maiden, and Fear of the Dark. That's my era. I didn't even really like Fear of the Dark, but they're playing my era songs. And Megadeth, I was going to go and see Megadeth because it's their last tour. Even though I'm bored of them, and Dave's a fucking idiot, I'm going to go and see them because it was their last tour. And so now they're playing together. I guess I'm seeing Iron Maiden too, which I don't mind. It'll be alright. I don't know what happened that first tour, Seamus. That was a rumor. But you know what happened that first tour? I don't think that was the rumor they couldn't get heroin, but I don't think that was the reason. But it was never ever on the news. But they were supposed to play at this weird venue in Sydney, which was a basketball hall or something. It was some weird fucking venue I'd never heard about. And it was cancelled. And it was lucky because I come from the Central Coast, so we had to travel like 2 hours to get there, or an hour and a half to get there at least. And we somehow heard, because usually you don't hear that stuff, there was no internet or whatever back then. Somehow we heard it was cancelled, so we didn't go down to Sydney. But that night, whatever that venue was, it burnt down. So I reckon people turned up for the venue and burned it down. But it was never ever, or tried to burn it down. It was never ever, I never heard those two things put together. And all these years later, I've still never heard those two stories put together. But I know it for a fact because I had a ticket. I had a ticket to that first Megadeth gig. It was because it was around the same time as, I know I'd already seen Guns N' Roses, but it was around the same time AC/DC come out again, and Alice Cooper, and Metallica, Megadeth, like they're all coming out that same fucking around that same time. Awesome. 83. 83? What tour was that? I didn't even know they came out here in 83. That'd be the. What tour was that? That wouldn't. I don't know. I know, I'm thinking there. What, 80, 81 was Killers and Iron Maiden. Something like that. Beast, was that far, really? I didn't think Number of the Beast was that old, but it probably is. Fuck yeah. Just never thought about it like that. Fucking hell, eh? I mean, I was listening to it at school that time, whenever, yeah. 82. Fucking hell. Well, that'd be why, yeah, I was too young to go. 12, 13. I wasn't 15, 16, when I was 12, 13. That's why I wasn't allowed to go. Makes way more sense. Because remember, we saw him on Simon Townsend's Wonderworld. That's where I first saw Iron Maiden. I was like, what the fuck is this? On Simon Townsend's Wonderworld. And then I used to go down the beach, and they had this Denny Minor Beach, and they had this little, I don't know what it was. It was an old shop or something. Oh no, it was the old front of the caravan park, and the caravan park had moved down the other end of the beach. And they had this old building there, and they'd put like a pool hall in there for the local surfies to play pool and stuff. And they had a jukebox and some pool tables, right? And then I'd go down the beach, and people would be blasting, Run to the Hills and Number of the Beast. And it was like, fuck, that's where where I, got into metal. And this is fucking awesome. What's this shit? I was already into AC/DC and, Angels and stuff like that, but yeah. too scared to go in there. I was only like fucking 12, 13, you know. They were tough cunts playing pool and stuff. By the time I got old enough to drink, 15, that's where you start drinking at home. that shit had totally gone. There was no pool tables there or anything. I still wish they'd fuck off that third guitarist, Yannick fucking, what was it, Yannick or whatever he is. Just fuck him off. It's so much better without him. I don't get it. I don't get it. But anyway, that's is that an old person thing or something? I don't know. I can't even remember his name, Yannick, whatever. I just don't get it why he's still there. Unless he covers all the other guitarists. Take it easy, Gunda. Not sure he's guitarist. I don't know. Yeah, I gotta go to bed too. Well, not to bed. I gotta get off here and have some. I haven't had dinner yet. I'm gonna pay for this tomorrow. I haven't drank much, so it's all right. I've stayed away from the tequila, which is a good thing. I don't know. It's just a poser. I don't mind. It's funny when I say that because I was in a poser band too, but I didn't pose that fucking much. I don't know. I just don't. When the two original guitarists are there, why is this young? Well, he's not young anymore, but it's just weird, isn't it? I guess it's nice to have him still there. I don't know. And not this tour because he never played on any of these albums anyway, did he? What's he going to do this tour? Because they're not going to play any of the stuff he was on. Was he on Fear of the Dark? I don't know. I gave up after. Like, I remember I went to the shops and bought Somewhere in Time when it came out. And I was so disappointed. I was devastated. And I opened up the album, they had like, I looked at it and went, you got keyboards, bass synth, guitar synth. What the fuck are you doing? And I was only, pretty young then still, but I was devastated. And I didn't really like the record. I thought it was soft. I thought they'd run out of things to sing about. They were singing like, what did they sing? Loneliness of a Long Distance Runner. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, Jesus. You're supposed to be singing about Satan and whatever, soldiers or war or shit. The loneliness of a wrong. What the fuck is this? And I was over them. I went, that album's shit. And then somewhere, Seven Sons of Seven Sons sort of went, oh, well, this is at least, even though I'd given up on them, I enjoyed it better. And then after that, I just sort of fucking gave up. Although I did like the single they brought out, Quick or Be Dead or whatever. When they did that single, I don't know how many years later that was. I went, oh, well, that's actually pretty cool. It's got it kind of back to punching, rock and roll, metal kind of stuff. And then they replaced the singer and fucking, I remember all that shit. Like, what was his name? Wolfgang? Oh, no, that's the name of the band. He can't. Whatever that guy's name. He wasn't a bad singer, but yeah, I went to shit for years. It's still shit now, their new stuff. Maybe I'm old. But I should go too. Take it easy. There's no point. I'm just sitting here talking about bands now. Although I can't turn it off because it's up there. Blaze Bailey, that's right. Seen some stuff about Blaze lately. Like, Blaze was a great guy, but like, fuck. And his band was not too bad before Iron Maiden too. Still. I was much more into the thrash by that stage, the Exodus and, Slayer and Megadeth and Metallica and stuff. I sort of went to the thrash side of things. The new wave of British heavy metal, or whatever you fucking call it, it's sort of in my books. Take it easy. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I just thought I'd turn on and say good day, and I've been here for way longer than expected. But it's good. My new light seems to be working really well. At least my beers are looking better in this light than the last light. I don't know how that makes such a difference, but it has. Yeah, call it a night. It's only Friday. If we call it early tonight, then we can do another one tomorrow night, right? That's the way I look at it. Take it easy, Trev. Oh, I'll try and have fun. I just hope the weather's okay. I don't even have my ticket yet. I've got to turn up at the event, and Shiv was going, oh, ring me when you get to the event, and I'll come to the gates. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to be at the extent of the gates for fucking half an hour. But there's no digital ticket, so he had to give me a wristband. He's in Tasmania, so it's why it's, unless I went and met him tonight or, early tomorrow, it's like, fucking, yeah, that's why it's going to have to be. Take it easy. I've got my wrong reading glasses on. Bruno, it's not Bruno, it's something, no, 94, take it easy. Gary, too far, take it easy. Cloppy, take it easy. And I'll see you tomorrow night on the Twitch stream. At some stage, I'll try not to be late. I'm planning on getting home in time to do it and not be too pissed, but we'll see. The too pissed bit, I can't promise you, but getting home on time, I'm going to try. Take it easy. Much love. Thank you very much for the support, everybody. Cheers. Got to get out of this garage. I've been here all day. You went here, Cloppy. The tequila ferment distill went pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it. I had half a shot before. Well, I drank the whole shot today, but half a shot on stream before. I'm not going to drink it now. I was only bloody distilled today, and that's 80%, so that's only a tiny bit of it. But I reckon it's going to be good. I was worried it wasn't tasting like tequila, and then I watered it down, 50-50 to get it down to 40% in this shot glass. It bloody tastes like tequila, all right. I'll send you some. Take it easy. Cheers. Thank you. Much love. Everybody, where's the mouse is up here. I know there's a bit of lag, so I'll wait for the lag because it's probably it could be too long. Bye. Cheers, everyone. Thank you.